Probably wouldn't be too dissimilar to Terraria, actually. I am such a big fan of like the 2D 360 aiming that Terraria has specifically. Now, don't get me wrong, the sandbox stuff is great. I like all the items. The progression is awesome. Like this is such an amazing game, genuinely. But it's interesting. There's a lot of highly regarded, highly rated Metroidvanias, um, which you can hardly play on the computer, which is my preferred method of playing, because it's pretty much left or right or sometimes diagonal inputs. So, Hollow Knight, um, all of the Metroid games trying to use an emulator with keyboard controls is kind of miserable. Um, I'm blanking on a couple other Metroidvanias, but it's not really my preferred genre. Oh shit. Okay, this is bad. That's a gnome. Gnomes are bad. I don't think I can go over there right now. I'm gonna try to snipe it. Holy buckets. This is the most action the series has seen yet. Now, we could have gotten a garden gnome if we exposed them to sunlight, but I'm just not gonna mess around with that. Holy crap. Um, forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I don't know. I really like the way that Terraria just controls. I think that it has a great control scheme, and especially towards the end of the game when you're really quick and you're really powerful, and you have a lot of these. You have a lot of like very cool weapons, which will just shoot out a million projectiles on your screen. It's just like it feels really great. It feels very fluid. Um, a game that I get recommended a lot is Armored Core, the latest Armored Core game. Um, and honestly, I looked at some gameplay of that, and that is a 3D over the shoulder kind of action game, like level-based action game. And I was looking at that, and I was kind of like, that's kind of what it feels like to play Terraria in the end game. Like, you're just going really fast, and you're doing a bunch of attacks, and you're dodging a lot, and I think that it's a really unexplored space. It's really unexplored space in game design, genuinely. Um, Anoida, I think, is maybe the only one of note that gets there. But Noida is very cramped. And you're very slow. That's more revolved around its simulated pixel mechanics and the fact that it's a roguelike. I'm not sure if the Risk of Rain original Risk of Rain remaster has 360-degree like mouse aiming. Like I could point up here and shoot an arrow, or left, right, down, wherever. I don't think it does. I think it's still left or right. So my dream game. Oh well, there's also Starbound, but Starbound is. I'll probably make a video of one of these videos talking about Starbound another time, because that's a whole other topic. But Starbound is pretty much, flea market Terraria. So, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of innovation that can happen in that specific kind of imaginary game space. Like a Metroidvania adventure game. With kind of controls that are not dissimilar to Terraria. I feel like that would be awesome. Because like I love Terraria. Terraria is probably my favorite game. At least it's my favorite game to play for sure. But I'm gonna be so honest. Some of the bosses aren't very great, and I think that the Moon Lord isn't very great, which is a shame because it's the final challenge in the game. But I mean, compared to a boss like Duke Fishron, compared to a boss like the Empress of Light, where you're running from them, they have choreographed attacks so you can learn their pattern. There's a real mastery to them. Or hell, even the Wall of Flesh. I mean, it's not as choreographed, but it's so unique, and it really sets you up. The Moon Lord will just spam projectiles at you, and you just run away from it the whole fight. And if you don't, you die. The most interesting thing is like cartwheeling around its eye laser like once every 20 seconds or whatever. And I don't know, Moonlorn's a bit of a letdown. But, you know, that's just to say that like an adventure game with kind of similar controls to Terraria could just focus on like individual levels and then make the bosses like more of a marquee highlight. Like, if a game had like 10 different Duke Fishrons and stuff, or Duke Fishron tier levels of fun fights, like that'd be stunning. That would be a stunning game to play. Now I've been messing around with game development since I was maybe 12. My grandpa enrolled me one summer into this like online learn how to make a game course. And that taught me how to use ClickTeam Fusion, which is the same software that I think the first Five Nights at Freddy's games were made on, and also like Pizzeria Simulator. So the Scott Cawthon Five Nights at Freddy's games, and there's not many other notable ones, as far as I'm aware of. But you know, over the years, I've gotten quite adept at it, and I mean, I have a very overactive imagination. I'm not using these bombs very well, am I? But I'm always like imagining games, coming up with games, making plans for games, and man, I would love to reach a point in my life one day where I could just make maybe multiple video games that kind of play like Terraria, but are maybe more character oriented, more action oriented, level oriented. So that's my dream game. And if you are aware of any games maybe that are kind of similar to what I'm describing, let me know, because a couple people are actually watching this, which is interesting. It's very interesting. I'm saying it's interesting because I'm not putting a description on any of these videos, and I'm not leaving a thumbnail, so it's just like you must just put a lot of faith in it, or it must be intriguing at least. But you know, if you're hearing this, not many people are gonna hear it, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Good for you. You're very special. Got about 2 minutes on the clock. I'm recording this at almost 3 in the morning. I figured that each time I've done it, it has been like kind of the first thing I did when I woke up in the morning. And yesterday, I like put some waffles in the toaster. I was gonna have breakfast, but because I went and recorded this instead, I totally forgot about it. And yeah, like a few hours later, I was like, oh yeah, those are the waffles. So, you know, I'm on that frugal living lifestyle, okay? I don't have to be wasting waffles like that. So, if I have to record this at 3 in the morning, I'll record it at 3 in the morning. I gotta preserve the waffles. The waffles are much more important. I think I was gonna talk about more things, but I'm kind of running out of time here. If you have an overactive imagination, leave a like. Creativity is a great thing. Creativity is such a great thing that I feel like a lot of people unfortunately can't really embrace. I'm very fortunate to get to embrace my creativity a lot. Doing what I do, working from home as an artist. And yeah, shit's great. I guess it's nighttime now. I think that the strategy is going to be to hit up the ice biome first. That's kind of why I've been digging to the left. I usually do just gun it for the jungle and try to get a boomstick, but I think that we could kind of... Tomorrow we're gonna like use this tunnel to dig down and find some ice chests, and it's gonna be a big deal. And it's not just because I'm running out of bombs. I mean, we made decent progress today. tonight, whatever.